Well, here we are in the refuge. It's September the 10th, 2011, and I thought I'd do another update about the refuge since everyone knows there's been a terrible drought here in Texas and Oklahoma and some other states. And we've had heat like you think you're going to get burned out. 100 and over just day after day. But now since September started, the temperatures have gone down. And this morning it was only 55.8. So I think things are changing, but we do need rain. Okay, what you're looking at here is an asparagus patch. We put this in this spring, 1,000 asparagus plants. And they're doing quite well. Yes, you can see my shadow here. Okay, let's get right down on this one. There's the base of it. Some of these plants are over 4 feet tall, very thick. I'm going to go out here in the garden now. This is our garden area. Okra. Got quite a few rows of okra here. Last year they were a lot higher than this, over your head. This year they're look a little on the stunted side, although they're doing well. They're putting out a lot of okra. And everything is irrigated here, so that's why we're able to have a garden. This is a late row of popcorn. I don't know if it's going to make it. Then we have some greens that are just coming up. Here's a row of cucumbers. And can't remember what's in this row. Here's a row of black-eyed peas. Kind of yellow at this side. The soil's a little alkali. They usually come out of it though. And we have another row of black eyes next to it. Here's peppers. We cover them up to keep the sun from cooking them. And they didn't do as well this year. Tomatoes, well, the plants are big, but not much tomatoes. It's too hot. And a lot of times tomatoes don't do that well in the summers here. And then we got a row of squash. And another row of corn. It's popcorn. And we have thornless blackberries. And then we have another row of, I think this is squash. Then we have a row of summer squash. we've had a lot of other rows of cucumbers, and we just took them out and put others in. Here's a row of peanuts. Another row of blackberries, partial row. Here's another row of cucumbers. And there's another row. And here's another row of cucumbers. These are the pickling type, which we sell. Here's some melons here. We had some green flesh melons. It's pretty large, as you can see. We've had much bigger. And then we have some more blackberries. We tried different kinds. Here's another row of cucumbers. Here's a row of squash. And then there's some peanuts down the other end on this other row. And these are Primark 45 blackberries, which we're trying out. They're thorny ones. And then here's another row of peanuts. And here's an old row of blackberries that needs cleaned out. Looks kind of diseased. It wasn't irrigated a lot, so because rabbits bite into the tape, and so we took it out. Okay, there's some more okra. Another row of okra. Another row of okra. Another row of okra. And we got more okra. And more okra. And the okra should be another 1.5 feet at least, and it's not. But it's still doing well. Now here's a row of blackberries. It's been cleaned out. Okay, and if you can see in the landscape how dried everything is. There's grass out there, but there is some green. We have some coastal that's okay, but a lot of it's dried out. Okay, we'll make our way out here. Here's a real good example of how the asparagus is doing, and here's an asparagus. I mean, it's all asparagus, but it's getting pretty good size, so I think next year we'll be able to sell these asparagus. This is Jersey Supreme, which grows on light soil. The plants were probably 2 years old. I mean, they'd have to be as big as they were. And shipping and delivery, I mean, the plants and the cost of getting them here was only $221. I mean, that patch will make a lot next year. Okay, here's the front of the greenhouse. I put a door on it. I got a door at a junk place for $20. It's quite a good door. It has 2 sliding glass windows in it. Okay, here's the greenhouse, which I've had in the other video, but you can see it's a very large greenhouse, 30 feet wide by 96 foot long. And here we're starting to put rows in. This is sheep manure. We have sheep, so we get the sheep manure and we put it down and we till it in. And we'll put a lot of winter stuff in here, plus tomatoes. Tomatoes do well in the winter time. We don't heat it that much. Okay. So that's our greenhouse. Now I want to go over here and these are Chinese date trees, jujube. One here, one here. They're not irrigated, and as you can see, they're quite green. I should have taken pictures. Well, they had fruit on them. We have some over here that were just loaded with fruit. The fruit was very good size, and they had no irrigation, which is unbelievable. Everything else in the yard is irrigated. You'll see these are figs. Whether they make this year or not, I don't know, but and it's not that they don't have, you can see the figs. You know, they're loaded with figs, but now that the weather's cooled down, you know, will they make it? They're usually out earlier than this. And there's apricots. This tree didn't have, just a few this year. Last year it was full of apricots. It's quite a big apricot tree. We have a lot of fruit trees. Well, all of the fruit is irrigated. All has a drip system under it. But the jujubes aren't irrigated, and they produced a crop, a big crop. And I read during the Dust Bowl, they said that jujubes consistently gave crops. And I guess without being irrigated. This tree here is the best. I didn't buy these trees. A neighbor years ago, when we first came here, it's probably at least 10 years ago, said she had these trees in her yard and she wanted us to take some, and so we took some. Well, not all of them have turned out to be good, but a couple of them are exceptional. Very big fruit, just like the Lee and Lang, I guess it is, these grafted varieties. Well, those produce very, very big fruit. It's sweet, and it's supposed to have all the more antioxidants, I understood, than anything else. Any fruit or any vegetable or fruit or animal. Okay, now you're looking at a pomegranate. It's got pomegranates, which I don't think are going to make this year. Last year we had a lot of pomegranates. Small, depends on what the weather does. We usually go into October, but I don't know. Okay, here's a pear tree, and you can see there's a lot of pretty big pears on it, but nothing like last year. There was a late frost that got us. We have a date palm, believe it or not, in central Texas. I thought it died, and maybe the main plant has, and the suckers are there. We put that in, and it's still growing. This year we put, I think it was 14 pomegranates other places in the yard where fruit trees were taken out, didn't do too good. And we have a lot of figs. Okay. Here's some of these others. They made a lot of growth this year. I mean, to think that they were just, you know, just bare root. This was a bare root plant. It's quite good size, and I have some bigger ones that are, they just want, you know, first year, just little cuttings that I got. I'm going to make my way out to the irrigation because I have to turn it off. Our peach orchard took a pretty good beating this year. Not just from the dry, hot weather, but it's, I don't know, it's just kind of deteriorating. Big crop last year, this year nothing. Try to hold this camera steadier. Very dry, you can see that. But we have water on our place, and there's some other people around this area that are able to irrigate, so we're hanging in there. But a lot of people have got rid of their livestock, and we've had the extra burden of buying feed, which we don't do in the summers. Take them through the winter, and then when the grass starts, we just turn them out, and that's it. But this year we've tried to supplement them with some lamb creep, and we have been feeding our lambs too. We had a crop of lambs. We had lambs that we usually don't have. And I guess because we fed them so well that the sheep are more fertile. Now this is a section that I've been irrigating out here. I don't know if you can see it or not. I guess you can see it's green. This is where my sheep are. There's the irrigation system going. I'll walk down this way. Now you see a lot of grass here, a lot of green grass, but unfortunately for me, this is a type of grass that my sheep don't eat. It's a 3-on, it's called, old field 3-on, so they just like coastal and some other stuff, and if you would watch them eat, they're eating very close to the ground. They're very selective and go around and hunt the grasses that they like. But good for us, we can still irrigate. Daisy, Daisy. It's my guard dog. You have to have a guard dog down here or else the coyotes will eat you up. Okay, I gotta get out of the way here, I'll get hit. This is a wheel move, just an old wheel move that I stuck together. Doesn't have the tractor part, so I move it by hand. It irrigates 440 feet long and 80 feet wide. So we just removed 2 of these irrigation pipes. They're like 60, that's 30 feet of pipe, so that's 60 feet I remove every time. And then I just rolled it. It's all aluminum, so it's easy to move. And these nozzles there's 10 nozzles on there. And my well puts out, well, it had put out 82 gallons a minute. I don't know where it is right now. I mean, you have to understand, we're in the worst drought in Texas history. And we went through the hottest period in United States history, June, July, and August. They said we're the hottest 3 months in United States history. So we've broken a lot of records here. Oh, here's more sheep. There's more sheep on this side, if you can see them out through there. Oh, watch it. I mean, these nozzles really shoot out. I'll go over here and I'll put on my, I was going to say I'll